Hi guys, so I picked up one of my beloved rotisserie chickens today, and I'm going to end up making two recipes out of this. The first one we're going to do right now, and then the second one I'm going to do tomorrow. Right now I'm going to make chicken enchiladas with a sour cream white sauce. So this is a recipe that I actually found online, and then I sort of put my twist on it, and I'm going to review it at the end and give it a little taste test and give this person credit where credit is due. Now I found this recipe, the person's name on Pinterest that posted this recipe is it's Raining Hot Coupons. And she has a video out as well where she makes it. That's where I found it originally, was on YouTube. I search a lot of recipe ideas on YouTube. And I make mine a little bit different than hers. And I think the changes that I made are for the best because that's what we really like. So I'm going to start this off by starting the sauce because it needs cooling time. So to start off, I'm going to use a half, whoa, that pan was way hotter than I thought. I'm going to start off by putting a half a stick of butter into a pan, and it's actually on low heat, but I guess I had it going for a minute there before I hit record. So I put about a half a stick of butter, and then you just want to do equal amounts of flour. We're just going to start a little roux here. And this is a great recipe. This is not my original, like I said. It's not the original recipe that she posted, which was very good. But, you know, sometimes you got to put your own spin on things. So I'm doing equal parts flour and butter just to make a roux here. So 4 tablespoons of each. And then you want to cook it for a couple of minutes until the flour and butter have come together. If you've never made a roux before, it is basically a fancy word of saying the thickening part of a sauce. So what you do is you cook it down and it almost becomes like a consistency of a paste, and it starts to look a little golden brown, and then you know that the flour portion has been cooked a little bit because you don't want to have like a raw flour taste inside your sauce. So what you do is you get it's bubbling, it's gorgeous. Hopefully you can see that. That wasn't the best lighting, I guess. Anyway, you want to cook it for a minute or so until it's thickened up and looks good. And basically this sauce is made from, like I said, 4 tablespoons each of butter and flour, which we're cooking now, and then 2 cups of chicken broth that I'm going to add to it. And then you let it all come together and thicken up for a minute or two. You bring it to a boil, turn it down and let it simmer, and then it gets about as thick as it's going to get. And then you want to take it off the heat and let it sit for several minutes before you add in sour cream. You add 1 cup of sour cream to it, and then you add in the flavor. Now what that means is I usually use about 1/3 to 1/2 cup of either green chilies, which was what it was called for in the original recipe, but I just never have those on hand. It's not something that my husband or my son enjoy. So I usually use like a green salsa. I've used green enchilada sauce, like the verde enchilada sauce. And today I have guacamole salsa, which is mild. It has that same like tangy green flavor profile that we're looking for. Oh, this is perfect. It looks golden brown. It's bubbling. It's ready for the chicken stock. Anyhow, you add in both the salsa and the sour cream after this has had a chance to cool. That's why I'm starting this first. See, when I first saw the recipe, she showed all of the like chicken prep first, and then afterward how to make the sauce. And then the sauce is really the longest part of this whole process. So I like to do sauce first. Here, let's crank it up so we can get a bubble going. And then while the sauce is going, like even now, I'm waiting for it to come to a boil. Then you have to let it cool for like 5 to 10 minutes. And it only makes sense to me to start this first. I don't like putting together a whole dinner and then waiting for one component. If there's some way that we can combine the time to make it more efficient, I'm all about that. So while I'm waiting for this to come to a boil, I'm gonna start breaking down my chicken. And I basically use like almost the whole entire chicken. I'm gonna save the drippings down at the bottom, which for the recipe I'm gonna make tomorrow with this, along with all of the bones and some of the skin and any like unusable meat that just is not worthwhile to pick off of the chicken. So the recipe I'm gonna make with that tomorrow is bone broth, which is amazing. It's basically just chicken broth, but I like to make mine in the Instant Pot, and you can also make it in the crock pot, but it is super good for you. It's got like collagen in it and protein and great like gut healing properties. I don't know. There's a ton of information that you can do on bone broth. It's so very good for you. If you've never tried it, make your own. It's got so much flavor, and I wish that I had some right now. I would have put that in this in place of just that chicken broth that I used, because it's just so good for you, and I love making things from scratch. Okay, this is bubbling away. It looks nice and thick. Let me see if I can give you a little peek in there. Ooh. Yes, kinda. Anyway, I would touch the camera and tilt it down, but now I have chicken hands and I don't want to mess that up, but I promise I'll give you a really good look at it before I dump it over the enchiladas. So these are possibly one of the easiest enchiladas I've ever made. Okay, it's looking nice and thick. I'm gonna let it bubble for just another minute or so and continue to break down the chicken. So it's like one of the easiest recipes ever for enchiladas. There's very little room for error here. I mean, you can make the chicken yourself, but the chicken at Costco, the rotisserie chickens are so inexpensive. It's $4.99. And if I weren't using this for enchiladas, you can use it, you know, as chicken meat for like salads or burritos or sandwiches. You can make, you know, barbecue sliders. You can do a million things with it. The possibilities are endless. Okay, this is looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and take it off the heat and let it cool, because that takes forever. Oh, and I wanna mention, I already started preheating my oven. You need it at about 350 degrees. And so if you turn it on when you start doing all of this stuff, by the time all of your components are ready to go, your oven will be nice and hot and perfect, ready to go. So I am just gonna continue breaking down this chicken. I'm not gonna make you watch me do the entire thing, because it's gonna take a few minutes. And then I will come back when it's time to incorporate the next part of this. And it should really just be a minute or two. I'm just gonna save you the time in watching me break down this entire chicken. But really, I'm just pulling it apart. You could cut the meat off and cut it up with a knife if you like perfect little chunks. But I find just tearing it apart works great. And it's just like the right size bite inside the enchilada, and you know, it's just so simple. Why not do it that way? Again, the sauce needs like 5 to 10 minutes to cool before you can add in the sour cream and salsa. And I'm gonna go ahead and take the time to do that and then come back to you and we can pick up from there. So hang tight and I'll be back with the next step in just a moment. Okay guys, well I am back with the next step now. I went ahead and broke down the chicken and our sauce is still cooling. Here it is. And I don't like to do extra dishes, so it's a little tacky, but I pick the chicken meat off and then just put it right into the lid that the rotisserie chicken comes with. There's a little tip there to save you some time cleaning up. And then here is the leftover, like, carcass, for lack of a better word. I'm going to use this along with another leftover chicken. I don't want to say carcass again. Another chicken that I had broken down and saved. The drippings, it kind of turns into like jelly at the bottom, and then the bones and skin, whatever leftover meat. And I use 2 of these to make my bone broth. So that recipe is coming tomorrow. Stay tuned. I keep going on and on and on and on about the bone broth, but it really is that good. So anyhow, what we do now is very simple. We take about 2 to 3 cups of cheese and mix it in. I just kind of grab a couple handfuls, and I'm using a combination of cheddar and jack, but you can use whatever you want, whatever you have on hand. Pepper jack would be amazing in here. You could also use just regular cheddar, or really just, you know, whatever you happen to have on hand, or whatever you and your family like. So I mixed just the chicken and the cheese all around until it's well incorporated, and that looks pretty good. This is about the ratio of chicken to cheese that you really want. Here, let me see if we can get a better like close up here so you can see what I'm talking about. In fact, you know, let's get some better lighting. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. There we have it. That's what I'm talking about there. All right, my amateur camera skills at their best right now. So anyhow, what we're going to do is assemble. And again, this is like the easiest enchilada recipe ever. You don't have to be someone who cooks or is really comfortable cooking to throw this together. It's a very simple recipe. Even I know the roux thing might be out of some people's comfort zones, but really it's just so simple. Don't be intimidated at all. This could not be easier, okay? If you start the roux first, it's still cooling right now. By the time we're done throwing this together, it will be ready to stir in the sour cream and salsa. And if you do it when it's too hot, the reason we want to wait is because it will curdle. And nobody wants that, right? No curdling, no curdling. So I'm gonna move this over so you can see exactly what I'm doing here instead of just me making it. Hello. Let's see if we can get a really good angle on this. Again, I apologize for my camera skills. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. All right, there we have it. So just a regular flour tortilla. And you know, as a change of pace here, I'm gonna try, just for the fun of it, doing a couple corn and a couple flour, just to see how it comes out. I haven't tried this with the corn before, but I only have 7 flour tortillas, so I'm worried that I may have too much filling. I don't know, I'm being pretty generous here. We might be fine with the 7. So anyway, you just put like a big old handful, that's a technical term, into the tortilla, and then roll it right up. Boom. That's not real challenging, right? Anybody can do that. Just chicken and cheese and tortilla. Now, if you wanted to try and make this healthier and use like whole wheat tortillas or whole grain, I'm sure you could. I haven't tried it. I try and sneak stuff like that past my husband and my son all the time, and they don't fall for it. People say, oh, just swap it out, or like, oh, like if you're making lasagna, just use zucchini instead of the noodles. Nobody will notice. Well, that's baloney, okay? Everybody's gonna notice. You know what the difference is between a noodle and zucchini. I mean, it might be just as tasty, and you know, like, who really cares if it's all good and it's healthy and you like the way it tastes, but there's no fooling people that aren't into that. They're not going to be like, boy, this tastes just as good. I never knew. They're going to know. They might like it and they might eat it, but they're going to know, okay? You can't just trick them. And you know what? I'm not even going to need those corn tortillas because I'm making these so chunky that I think there's only going to be room for 6. And we're almost out of our chicken cheese mixture anyway here. So I'm just going to dump the last of it into the tortilla, and oh, that's like perfect. This one's a little skinnier than the friends, but you know, that's okay. So we'll scooch these over, and you want to leave a little bit of space in between because we're going to dump that sauce just over the top at the end. And now I wanted to mention about the sauce that you can really use it for so many different things. Like I have made it before and then just left, I made like a double batch, say, and then I left out the salsa and saved half of it, and then I used it for the, I was gonna say the liquid portion, but that's not quite right. The gravy, I guess, that you would normally put in with homemade chicken pot pie, and it was delicious. This like sour cream chicken broth sauce is really good. So I'm just gonna move this out of the way and then show you here the sauce. It's come together. It's nice and thick, and it's definitely ready to add the sour cream and the salsa. It's still got a little heat to it, but it's been cooling off this whole time, I'm sure. All right, so here we have it. The sauce is nice and cool, and I'm going to go ahead and add in 1 cup of sour cream. Here, let me get a 1 cup of sour cream, and then go ahead and mix it in. Looking pretty good. Want to incorporate that real nicely. And then we're going to add in our salsa. And for this one, I am using this guy. It's Herdez Guacamole Salsa. Like I said before, I've used green chilies, which is what the recipe calls for. I usually don't have those on hand. So I think the first time I used just a regular salsa verde that I just had in the fridge already, and it was delicious. Nice mild flavor, not super spicy. You just whisk it in. I mean, this is so simple. What did my son say earlier today? Really, it's pretty simps, Mom. So it's pretty simps for all of you out there who consider yourself, you know, not really someone who cooks. I mean, how easy is that? Voila. So next, what we're gonna do, here is our tray of enchiladas. We're just going to dump it right over the top, like so. And I'm gonna resist pouring the entire thing on there. I like it super saucy, so I like, you know, as much as possible. My husband doesn't like it as saucy, so I resisted pouring the entire thing on top, just to be fair, to make sure it's not super saucy. So I spread it all around, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use my, I don't like doing extra dishes. I'm gonna use my same sour cream spoon here, and I'm gonna like wiggle them apart a little bit. Remember how there was just a little space there? Wiggle them apart, make sure the sauce gets down in between each one, because these don't have any sauce in the middle. Like normally when you make enchiladas, you would mix some of the sauce in with the meat. And inside of these, it's just meat and cheese. So you want to make sure that it gets down in and around there. That looks fantastic. And again, I really just want to dump all of that sauce over the top, but I'm not going to, because I'm not the only one who's going to be eating these, right? It's all about compromise. Okay, so next I'm just gonna grab another big handful of the shredded cheese. Ta-da! And I'm gonna just like go crazy with it. Let's put this all over the top. It's gonna be bubbly and cheesy and delicious. Here we go. And again, it's gonna go in at 350 for only about 20 minutes. 20, maybe 25 minutes. And then it should be looking like ooey gooey golden brown. If you like it a little bit more like crunchy cheese on top, you can turn on the broiler for a sec. If you just like it ooey gooey, pull it out as is at that point. And you know, you always want to let it cool for a minute or two before you dig in, and then enjoy. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into the oven. Oh, it looks so good, doesn't it? There's a close-up. Oh, yum. I'm going to go ahead and put this into the oven and then let it cook for the 20 to 25 minutes. And then I'll give you a sneak peek at how it looks right when it comes out. And then the taste test. Into the oven they go. All right. All right, well, there you have it, guys. Straight out of the oven. It is bubbling and way, way too hot to try. I left it in for the full 20 minutes, and then I turned on the broiler for like 2 to 3 minutes, just to make the cheese a little bit more golden brown on top. And it smells amazing. I wish this was smell-o-vision so that you could get the full effect, because, oh man, it's like super heavenly. And this is how to do a rotisserie chicken right here. So, oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wait for it to cool off, and then I'm gonna give it the taste test. And if anyone wants the original recipe without all of my little tweaks and edits, I am putting the link in the description below to give credit where credit is due, because this was not my original recipe. I just have made it several times and added my own take. So give it a try, and man, you won't be sorry. It smells amazing and it tastes even better. So after this cools off just a bit, I'm gonna try it, like I said, and let you guys know what I think. Although I'm pretty sure you already know what I think, because oh my gosh, I just can't wait. My mouth is watering right now. So hang tight for just a sec, and then I'll be back with the taste test. Okay, well, here we go for the taste test. I let it cool off, and I'm gonna just dig right in. Man, that is delicious. You really can't go wrong. You can make it your own. You can use whatever kind of salsa you want or leave it out. I am gonna add just a little bit of cilantro to dress it up. You can also add avocado or your favorite salsa to it. A little Spanish rice would go a long way here as well. Man, this is delicious. Oh, the smell of the lime like hitting the sauce. It's just so good. It's so good. So just one of many, many ways you can use the rotisserie chicken from Costco. And oh my gosh, make it for a dinner party. Make it just to have like a go-to in the fridge for the week and prep ahead during the weekend. Oh my gosh. No matter what you do, you can't go wrong. So simple, so easy, and so delicious. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you try it, and I hope you love it as much as I do. You really can't go wrong. And thank you again for the original recipe. I went ahead and put the link in the description if anybody wants to get all the proper measurements and recommendations from the original chef. I've got her link down below. Check it out, pin it on Pinterest. Give her a thumbs up, because really this is hers. This is just my take on it. So I give her recipe major thumbs up. It's the review of the recipe. So Man, this is just amazing. And I really like the little tweaks that I made to it, obviously, because it's mine and I love it. But make it your own. Try it, make it your own, add the things you like, and let me know what you think.